live with the Jeep Life podcast. If you're just joining us, episode 528, we have Steve Zabo from Pine Barrens Venom Jeep Club. He's going to be updating us with all the stuff that's happening in New Jersey.
The Wharton State Forest shenanigans.
So
Definitely shenanigans.
we'll dive deeper into that a little bit. Steve, you're blurry.
People have been telling me I've been blurry for a long time.
You're blurry.
No video feed.
In real life.
Sometimes, who knows if we'll be able to do anything about that. That might be mine.
I don't know.
Your interwebs.
My crappy web service.
Yeah. But what do we? This is two more sessions.
Yeah, I don't know.
Tonight and next week.
Maybe
in this studio.
Yeah.
It could be the beginning of the end. It is the beginning of the end.
Of this
studio.
Correct.
Yeah.
This was phase 2?
This was phase 4?
4, yeah, 4.
Ah, well, see who's counting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We Don's garage was phase 1, and then the shop was phase 2.
Yeah.
And then your basement was phase 3.
Yeah.
Technically, that got a refresh once.
Right. Yeah. Right.
3B.
So 3B.
Yeah.
And now this is 4. And this even kind of morphed.
Yeah.
This had a 4 and
B.
4B.
5 is yet to
Where's
be
5?
determined.
What's 5 going to be?
That should be a big thing. Like that. Because we don't know.
We don't
No,
know.
really, we don't know.
No, yeah.
Yeah, we
It's
don't
not
know.
like a secret reveal. It's like, no, it's so secret, we don't even know.
Yeah, maybe it'll who knows, maybe
Might go
we'll
virtual
we'll
for
become
a little
virtual.
while.
Yeah. I have
What
to
do you guys think? Let us know. Virtual podcasts for recording. We'd still be live. We still have a live session.
Yeah.
We just might not be in the same exact
Locations. Because we are kind of separating out a little bit.
Yeah, somebody's leaving me.
I'm sorry.
You know, when I run late,
It's
it's
okay.
nice that you're 9 minutes from my house. It does kind of make a difference.
Yeah, but now when you're late, it's because you didn't log on to your computer quick enough.
Well, that's a story of my work life completely.
Are we gonna have to send?
I'm gonna have meeting
requests.
requests. That's
to
totally.
Your
You're gonna.
assistant
I'm
and-
sorry. I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna accept tentatively.
Ah, shit.
That's gonna be how it is.
All right, I'm just gonna roll.
Just do it.
Absolutely.
Just gonna roll. Hey everybody, welcome to the Jeep Life podcast. We are presented proudly by Armorlight, the toughest flooring on the trail. And by toughest, I mean toughest.
I was gonna
And-
say, is it like a tuppence?
It is a tuppence. Tuppence for a
For merely a tuppence, you can have the best flooring
that's
on
right.
the trail.
Or you can, help a child.
All right,
in
my
need or
my
something.
vocabulary is not that vast.
Well,
Let's put it
anyway,
that way.
If I had notes up, I think it's Jeep Life Podcast 10 on a complete flooring
is.
solution. Make sure to go check out the guys at Armorlight and tell them
We sent you.
Yeah. That'll either get you completely rejected
Yep,
on
they're not gonna
whatever you
send
want,
it,
or it could get you a nice little discount
or an Armorlight sticker.
or two. So our thanks to Armorlight for always being our presenting sponsor and our friends.
Great people, great floor, great product.
Yeah, I love it.
Yep.
Guys, it's interesting to be back in the studio. When holidays, we took off for a little bit.
Well, I've been busy,
Yeah, tell me
Yeah.
about it.
super busy.
Yeah.
No.
We bought a house.
Yeah,
Well,
Welcome to
congratulations.
home
She
ownership.
bought a house.
Right.
Hey, as if owning
And-
Jeeps isn't enough, now welcome to
It's
home ownership.
worse. It's
Yeah.
worse. Everything costs
Jeeps
even
and home
more
ownership.
More money.
money. And also I got engaged.
Yay!
Oh, triple threat over here.
Heck yeah.
It's only a double threat, but
Well, new job.
oh right, that's right. New job recently.
Yeah.
Hey, let's put Billy's life in a can, shake it up, and roll it out on the table and see how that
Oh
goes.
yeah.
Dude, that's crazy. I know that when I moved to Texas, I hit the trifecta
Yep.
as well, and it was the most stressful time of my life. But
It's
I had
craziness.
pregnancy in there too.
Yeah. I don't want to throw that one in.
No, don't stay.
I'm not doing the 4 whatever quadtuple or.
No. Get through. Get through this.
Can we get through the next 48 hours?
Yeah, no doubt. Well, congratulations. That's awesome, and we're super stoked for you. And
Thank you.
I know I haven't got my invite to the new house yet to come over and
Dude,
throw
it's kind
paint at it.
I
do whatever I can do to help.
yeah, well, I don't even know my name right
I
now.
know. It sometimes you get so busy with that stuff that you don't even know where to begin to get help from somebody.
I'm wrapped up in it.
Just doing the thing.
You're doing your thing.
Mini Jeep thing going on.
It's got a blown motor.
Yeah.
Again.
JK's got a blown motor.
Again.
Number 4.
Yeah. So anybody out there with a 3.6 Pentastar that
That wants to just donate it to
That
the
doesn't
fund,
have
but-
a 250,000 miles and is also blown.
Yeah. I mean,
Right.
maybe I can take 2 and make one good one.
Oh, you
Cut
don't want
one
to.
right
You don't
down
want to
the
go.
middle.
I don't know.
You don't want to go down that path. How about a good one?
Yeah. So verdict is it lost compression. Well, it's
In 3.
It's
It was in
losing
3, right?
Compression in cylinder 3. Yes. Which cylinder 3 has always been the problem child since I got
You
the
had
motor
that.
back.
You had those counts going up when you had the
Yep.
monitor on it.
Yep. So now it's just hardcore full cylinder 3 misfire. When it's driving, it actually kind of diesels itself and just
Goes around it, yeah.
It
It goes.
yeah.
Well, that was weird because I was like, oh, it's warming up and the counts are going down when I was
Right.
over here that one night. And you were
It's
like,
because
yeah, it doesn't always do that, but yeah, it is kind of funky behavior.
as it gets warmer, everything expands.
And
It
it
kind of generates
fits.
more compression, but
Right.
it's not enough.
No.
So it's most likely the rings or a valve.
I would love to see inside that to understand what the size and magnitude of the violation
Well,
is.
well, it's going to require me taking it out because I'm not paying Jeep or Chrysler or any of the sorts $12,500. Oh yeah. So I'm going to throw this one out to you, Jeep. That's ridiculous
Yeah.
and
crate
absurd
motor, yeah.
for a problem that was never fixed to begin with.
Well, and right now I think they're doing a reman motors.
They're all remans. So
Yeah.
that's the whole thing.
Right? They're
that
not a
I-
new crate motor that you can go and buy.
Correct. I went and bought a Jasper remanufacture motor that had a full-on warranty.
Yeah.
They came back and put a remanufactured motor back in my Jeep.
Yep.
Day one, I had a problem.
Do you remember Rolling Smoke? Yeah.
I always
if you
had
passed
issues.
30 degrees, that thing was pooping.
I would
white
be out
smoke.
with other JKs, and JKs would be doing the same exact obstacles. And as soon as I got back a little bit angled, it would start
Yeah.
rolling smoke out the back. It dropped cylinder 3's spark plug when I first got it back. So who knows? It probably scored the walls and since
Yep.
been problematic.
Yeah, it's
Had
about
that
right.
in a bike that I had one time.
Yep.
It was once you
You
once the walls start getting
Yeah.
tore up, and then it just erodes from there.
Yep, I lost a spark plug in cylinder 3, and probably a piece of that ceramic got
Gone.
into
Yep.
gone. Cylinder's toast.
Done.
They don't evaporate.
Nope.
They disintegrate
Yeah.
into something.
Sand.
Yep.
Pretty much.
Yeah, that's not good.
No. So
All right. Well, best of luck with that too.
thanks.
We're on the hunt for a new motor.
We're on the
for you.
hunt. 3.6 liter Pentastar motor.
Yep.
They're crap motors, but
Or an LS for next to nothing.
I got an LS.
All right, let's do it. Meet you in the garage after we record.
We could knock that out a couple of beers, right? You know, by dawn,
Jeep's
it's
at-
good.
Jeep's
by
at the
dawn.
new house. Sorry.
Yeah.
By dawn, we're
Yeah, I
good.
ain't driving over there.
No.
I have
I'll
to
blow
take
a motor by the time I get there.
Yeah. So, what about you, Jason? You've been
Oh,
all over
God.
the world.
All over the world, not with my Jeep though.
No, they don't let you check that.
Oh yeah, that's when they say, "Do you have oversized luggage?" I'm like, define oversized.
Yeah. Is it okay if it's in Chief Blue?
Yeah, that's right. But it has the stripe. I'm
It's
serious.
It's just on 35s. It'll fit in the
it's
overhead.
on 35s. It'll make it. Sir, that won't fit. Oh yes,
Alright.
it will.
I'll take some air out of the tires. It'll be
That's
fine.
great. I'll air down. It's good. You know, not a lot of hard Jeeping stuff. A bit of maintenance, just odds and ends, nothing notable. Certainly not the magnitude Bill's
Yeah.
been juggling. really honestly, it's more thinking about wishing that I caught kind of a last run out
I
before
know.
the weather kind of got janky.
Yeah.
So, this is the time of year where we just get our stuff taken care of and we long for that first
Nice.
spring
Do
ride out.
Yep,
Yeah.
do any maintenance that we can. And speaking of maintenance,
When you
My-
have 4 vehicles,
Yeah.
4 Jeeps, there's
Yeah.
no shortage on that one.
Yeah. What do you got, Jeepin' wise?
well,
Nothing but maintenance.
no, mine, the red Jeep is in the shop.
Your
It's-
Kylo.
Yeah, Kylo
Your Jeep.
is in the shop. It's in the very capable hands of Globex Performance.
Yep.
They're taking really good care of my Jeep. We're waiting on some last minute parts. As soon as those arrive in, it's on the surgery table, and
Sweet.
I expect it be back to my hands soon.
All right.
Soonish. I'm hoping to be able to do a shakedown run to Tennessee over Christmas holiday with it.
Oh, we go see your mom?
Go see my mom.
Not like break it in. Let's go on a
Let's 9-hour
9-hour
drive.
drive. That'll warm it up.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll get nice and warm, get the tires going.
Ah.
So it'll be good. I feel good. As a matter of fact, I took a trip in New Jersey in the work Jeep because I was doing some shop visits.
Yep.
And ended up at Globex last stop of the day, and I met our good friend Steve for the first time. We've chatted, we've talked, we've done all these things. We've had you on the show, I think, even, and we got to meet in person. Steve, how's it going?
We did. That was a good time.
It was a good time.
Yeah, I'm doing well. Thank you guys for having me. Appreciate it.
Yeah, it was one of those things where timeliness. We've got some news out of New Jersey. And we were like, you know what? Let's get somebody on here that can clarify that. We didn't have a guest for tonight. We had some. Don was going to try to be here.
Yeah.
We're
And
gonna
so
have
we
the
had
4
some,
up here.
had some technical stuff that we could have jumped into.
We still have a topic that we want to talk about, but
Yeah. But Don is busy. He's busier than all of us combined. So he needed.
No, I'm giving him a run for his
You
money.
are for real.
I just don't have kids.
I know, Steve. You're very active with your Jeep club, right?
Yes, yeah.
Matter of fact, you're wearing a shirt right now.
The president
That's right.
of his Jeep
Yeah.
club.
Tell me a little bit about that.
So our club is actually a New Jersey registered 501c nonprofit. We do a lot of charity stuff. A lot of our members stick to woods riding, but then again, we have some members that like heading up into the rocks.
Yeah.
I have not gotten myself into the rocks just yet.
Come on.
Spring's just around the corner,
know.
Steve.
I know. Somebody's going to have to put a call into the boss and see what she says about it.
Bring her along.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, she's shaking her head like no. So we do what any other Jeep club does, but we add in the nonprofit charity end of things. And from May to next week at our toy drive that we're about to have, we're pounding the pavement. We're raising money for charity, for less fortunate, for veterans, for the kids. We have a New Jersey Adopt a Highway program, keep our roads clean. We take beginners out into the forest and we show them the do's and don'ts, and having some beginner rides and whatnot. I know a lot of clubs will just get together and go out in the woods and nobody wants to tell them how to do anything, but my opinion is education is key. The more you know, the safer you can be, the better you are, and you're staying in the proper areas, stuff like that. Jeep maintenance, our page rolls kind of like everybody else's does, where somebody needs something, they ask a question, that kind of thing. So in a nutshell, that's PBV, and we have some of the greatest people and members in our administrative team that you can ever ask for. So we're pretty blessed in that way too.
Yeah, I've enjoyed meeting everybody that I've met from the club. Has been a positive experience. It's very similar to our club. You've got the New Jersey thing going. We've got the Pennsylvania Jeep Enthusiast of Eastern Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
We do the same thing. We have once a month
We just had a big toy
events
drive.
we just had a huge toy drive and did an event at the Iron Pigs lights at the baseball field.
Illuminate event.
Yeah, I
And
saw your post with all those boxes of toys, man. You guys killed it.
yeah, five full bins. The Oracle JL was full from top to bottom, and it was pretty awesome. The club killed it.
That's really cool. Yeah.
So it's Billy and I founded that group. I don't even. It was a long time ago
5,
or better.
6 years
Yeah.
ago, maybe
Yeah.
7 almost. Yeah.
So us and Brandon, our president, we founded it, and 10,000 online members or more, and usually like we had 150 show up
Yeah.
Saturday night, so that was
Yeah, those events always have the best engagement. Like, I don't know how it is, Steve, for you and you guys, but there's always sort of there's the core crew, and then there's some of those events that just resonate really well
Yep.
and get like the best engagement and drive like the best contribution toward whatever that particular event is benefiting.
That's a very true statement. We're pushing 3,000 members, and just like you said,
Yeah.
you do have your core group of people that seem to come out, every event, every ride, everything, and that's great. We enjoy seeing the new faces too, and then there's just the ones that want to kind of hang back and check out the pages and see what's going on online. So you take the best of all worlds. But like you said, for us it seems like our first responders event, the Reclaim,
great
and
event.
our veterans and toy drive really bring out a good showing, and it's, to me, it's when it counts the most and everybody comes out that we appreciate that.
Yeah, Reclaim 5, right? So that's going to be next
Coming up,
summer.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's
well,
not that
August
far
9th.
away. Before we blink our eyes, we'll be
as
in
long-
the summer for that.
as long as I'm not out on the road traveling, I'll be there.
Yeah, we'll have to make
Yeah,
a
we need to
road
get you
trip.
guys over there.
Yeah,
We saw
absolutely.
Jason over there last year. He interviewed me and one of our board of directors, Ryan. So that was really cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I
Man
appreciate
in the
it.
field.
You have no idea behind the scenes how busy this gentleman was, and I'm like, hey, look, I understand what it takes to deal with this stuff and juggling fireballs, and still made a couple minutes to take care of us and allow us to share their event with the listeners. And it'll be great if we can get down there and go together and check it out.
Yeah.
It was very impressive.
Yeah, if we can get down there, maybe we do a live recording or something. But
That would be cool.
And they had the show. It was like a show. They had full like show and shine, like show, the event, vendors. I mean, it was quite impressive.
nice.
Maybe I'll have a Jeep
Thank
Jeep
you. I
that I can
appreciate
drive
that
by then.
compliment, man, really.
Well, you can drive the Oracle Jeep, and I'll drive my Jeep.
Thanks, Terry. Just get
I'll
the-
drive the minivan. I'll take Brandon.
Well, whatever you drive, you are more than welcome. And our team is open arms for you guys too. We have a great team that puts it on. So
Awesome.
open arms.
Cool.
That's exciting.
What are the dates for that again? Just so you can get it out.
This year, next year rather, is August 9th.
That's right.
Okay. So everyone out there, August 9th, 2025, Reclaim for First Responders, put on by
Yep.
the Pine Barrens Venom Jeep Club.
And it'll be on our event.
Oh,
calendar
absolutely, yeah.
Once
Yeah.
we
Once
roll
we
into the
start
new
running
year.
down the new year, yeah.
Just wanted to get it out there again.
No, I appreciate
Remind
it. You're
people.
on it, dude. You are on it.
That's right. Push, push, push.
I'm the
As-
events guy. I got to remember this
As
stuff.
opposed to me, you are on it. I love it. All right, so let's jump in and kind of let's get a pre-update because let's kind of review from the last time you guys were on, up until the last week and a half ago, I guess.
We had Dave Dempsey on.
Oh, yeah.
Also
Dave,
a member of PB&J. and PB&J. And he came and shared what had been cooking. So Steve, that was the precursor to the how shall we refer to it? The show and tell.
Yeah.
Yeah, and one of our cohorts, Scott Ammerman,
Oh, that's
was
right.
there.
Yep.
So I saw him, I saw Steve, I saw Dave, I saw a few of the other guys there. I was able to attend that, and that was at the what was that, the Batso like community? I forget what they refer to that.
Yeah, that's like their gift shop right there.
Yeah,
Whatever at the
all right.
village.
The gift shop. Here we go, and you're free to take is road closures.
Yeah.
And so maybe take us from there, because that was kind of the big lowdown. That happened, and now there's been some kind of current events.
Yeah. So all right. I mean, so a lot of the audience that's watching knows what's going on. But what happened was they invited the general public and all user groups. It's not just the off-roaders that are involved in this, right? I mean, you got
That's
kayakers,
important.
hikers, bikers, photographers. Yeah, it's very important to note that although I am part of the off-road community, we're pushing for all user groups because everybody's affected. It's not just down to one.
Yeah, I saw the
So they bring
signs
it in
today.
and, they're all over, and even on a lot of the trails now they're saying no bicycles and no horses.
No
as well.
horses. No horses, no
Hmm.
horsepower.
Yeah, we thought that was pretty wild.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So
That's a big
in a
thing.
nutshell, they brought us there and they wanted to hear our opinion. Right? We all took surveys and we gave them our answers about yay with the road closures or nay with the road closures. Okay, and then Open Trails New Jersey, which Dave is a part of, and myself and other people, we advocate for those guys. They're really spearheading this, by the way, Open Trails New Jersey. But anyway, at Bats, though, the DEP did a survey. Then it took a while. They compiled the data, and the data came out, and it literally showed how the majority of people wanted to keep it the way it was, all the roads open, stick with the map at that time. So here we are thinking, all right, great. They
Feeling
asked us our
good.
opinion. We gave you our opinion. All right, cool. So then everything kind of dies off. And then I guess a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, they just out of nowhere drop it here. Boom. Hey, here's the new map. So they basically took everybody's word, took 11 resolutions from 11 different towns, kickback from people in Congress and representatives and a bunch of politicians, all pushing against this. And they said, you know what? We don't care. And they threw it away. And they just closed, right? So they shut down more than 50% of what are considered legal roads in our forest.
Mm.
So these are like
So,
roads that you guys
These are
people,
named roads.
Yeah, people
That's an important
travel
detail.
these to get to and from their house to different places.
Well, yeah, people do use it in that fashion. These roads date back to the 1800s when they were mining iron ore out there and making coal and stuff like that. And, they're on Google Maps, these roads.
Mm.
So the fact of the matter is there's government overreach with the DEP. They flawed the survey. They didn't want to listen to the people. And they thought that it wasn't, they were broadcasting it as if it wasn't going to affect anybody but the off-roaders, because
Right.
naturally we're all the outlaws, we're the bad guys.
But it's really out being an outdoor, somebody of the outdoors, because the
100%.
the important detail that came out of this, I was shocked because I saw some early pictures of now there's pylons in the middle breaking up access to some of these roads, and the badge is like, it's not just, oh hey, no, not you and your Jeep, it's or your horse or things.
No, nothing.
It's
You can't access the area.
you
can
can
hike.
walk. You can walk.
Walk.
And the other interesting part of the whole thing was that it was quite outspoken, and it wasn't just a bunch of Jeepers that showed up.
Right.
It was everybody using. Sometimes it's vehicles for access for other recreation. Like
Yeah.
I saw
How
a
about
comment.
ADA?
Which one?
The ADA people, the people
Well, yes.
with wheelchairs
Yeah.
and such, they can't even get back. You know what I mean?
Well, there was a post on OTNJ about they were talking about, oh well, I always go to these 2 insertion points for kayaking, and so they take their vehicle to deliver the kayak and then go kayaking.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
even on the roads.
Right.
It's just access to other activities conducted in the forest, and that's really the thing that's kind of the most dumbfounding of all of it. Is it is not just, hey, I want to go tear things. It's portrayed as I want to go tear things up with my 4-wheel drive vehicle.
Yep.
And yet
Right.
there's so much more robustness out there that is now being limited by this action.
Well, I mean, this specific thing is New Jersey specific, but
It is.
it's not just limited to New Jersey. So we're really microscoping in on New Jersey. But
It's one
5 or 6
example.
years ago, I mean, it's kind of started, full out across the country at
absolutely.
some of the federal lands and stuff like that are restricting access, and it's
Yeah, it's happening in Moab
Yep.
and in with BLM land out west. Yeah,
Yep.
it's everywhere. I mean, you got to unite and get your voice heard, regardless of if you're in New Jersey or Pennsylvania or Utah.
right.
There's the right channels to go through to have yourself heard. Do it the right way. You
Yeah.
can peacefully protest. You can talk to your your state senators and whatnot, your legislators.
Yeah, so it's not just isolated, but for our conversation now, focusing in on New Jersey, and one of the things that we learned from Dave was a lot of that. It's what we would call trails is actually public roads, that have been around for a while, and we say we're going to the trails, but in reality, they should be a form of mode of transportation, public access on these roads.
That's the thing. We don't say trails. Like, we try to use verbiage because there's a lot of people sitting that are decision makers that shouldn't be making decisions, that have never even
Never
stepped
been there.
foot in these
Yeah,
trails. Yeah, exactly. Right. They're using verbiage as like routes, trails, the park system.
You're the ones
First of
that
all, they're
named
legal
them.
they're legal named roadways. They're not routes, they're roads. If that's the route you want to take, that's fine, but you're driving on a road.
Yeah.
And
A
it
route
not
is a
the
set
park
of
system.
directions to get from point A to point B.
Right, right.
This
And
is a
their verbiage Where
road.
they're saying that it's a park system is incorrect. Wharton State Forest. It says forest in it. There's the definition difference, and it gets ran completely different. And they're they're treading in waters that they shouldn't. Not only that, there is a process that you have to go through to shut just one road. Even if, Jason, let's say you own a road, okay, but other people use it. You have got a long, extensive process with the DOT, the town government. You got to take out an ad in a newspaper, let everybody know, detour signs, blah, blah, blah. The list goes on before that one road can be approved to be closed.
No, I'm just going to stick pylons up and just shut it.
Yeah, no, I'm just going to put these plastic things up and say that nobody can go unless you got a backpack on. And they did a blanket road closure. So what I have done, you can call the governor's office and tell them that, we're getting ready to Oprah all the processes for every one of those roads to make sure that they didn't do something they weren't supposed to do. They can't just close a road. And if you want to call the governor's office, you can call 609-292-6000 and you will get a person.
Nice.
And you can be a noisy cricket. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's what it's going to have to take. I want to see the process and the approvals from all these towns, because a lot of the towns that have roads that go through that forest have passed resolutions against it.
And that's an important thing to understand. I know that, we have I was mentioning to Steve earlier that, we've got a pretty broad listenership all the way out west and everything. This is, obviously hitting close to home for us. But, and not everybody even around here is familiar with that area. And I've become more and more familiar with it. There are towns like this is South Jersey, it's a state forest, but there are roads. There are people I know that their commute to work is through this area. This isn't some rural random outskirt that, what does this really matter? It's like, no, this is like a functioning part of the area.
Yeah.
And there's offshoots. And, one of the interesting stats that came up was there had been, and Steve will refine this for me, but something like 600 and some odd clocked miles, and now with the closures, we're down. Is it sub 200?
I believe it's 175 that they're allowing, quote unquote.
Yeah,
us
that's
to
not
now
a
use.
percentage. That's like a slashing.
They took the whole thing away, excepting for the main arteries that run in and
So.
out. That's it.
Yeah. So
Anyway.
I just
Yeah.
pulled up, the Wharton State Forest map, and is the new map they're using the updated one, or is it
That's the new one.
that is the new one?
Yeah, that would look
Yeah.
much more vibrant.
Oh, it would look so congested on there. You'd have to zoom in to find which road you're looking at.
Yeah.
So if you're looking at something that you can just glance at and depict roads, you're looking at the newest one.
Okay.
Yeah,
There are so many roads on there that they're removing. It's
Yeah, and
ridiculous.
it says that they're beginning January 1. It will be stricter enforcement on the vehicle use map that's current.
Right.
and Open Trails
I
New
did
Jersey
go out
publishes
there.
that.
I did go out there the other day with a group of friends to check things out. Because frankly, I'm okay with getting a ticket. I'd like to see how they can hold that up in court, considering they had no right to close the road to begin with. And I'm not trying to sound like some sort of outlaw or something. I'm just saying, like, I'm on a road that I'm allowed to be on. But anyway, we went out there and they are closing stuff. They have started closing things with the new plastic ballards that they're putting up. And to be completely transparent, so far, I only seen one actual road that is a usable road closed so far. But they're grabbing low-hanging fruit. You could tell that they assembled at Batsto and they're working their way through the woods. I mean, of course, we just got done saying there's 600 some miles, so they're not going to get that all in one weekend, but they are doing it. I mean, now they're closing fire cuts that were never intended to be a roadway. Okay, you know what? Maybe I won't complain about something like that.
Yeah.
They're closing a wider footpath trail that vehicles have eventually opened up. Okay, we can maybe agree that that shouldn't be considered either. But when you start closing the ones that Google Maps has mapped out on it, you got to think, these guys are up to no good. They're doing something they're not supposed to be. So
Interesting. I'm all about conservation, treading lightly, taking care of the environment, but I also know that there are activities that, when we go off-road, we are disturbing that off-road portion in any way that we do it. We are.
Yeah, but these are.
But they're.
It's like the street out front of my house.
The reason your street out
that's
front
what these
is
are considered.
right is a road. It's a paved road
Right.
because dirt wasn't cutting it.
Exactly.
Right. The more you're on a highway,
Mm-hmm.
the more it's going to disturb
Absolutely.
that surface.
Right.
So then you pave it, whatever. Well, at the same time, we use our vehicles for enjoyment. We use them for, and I don't want to say that a few bad apples ruin the whole bunch, because I think this is way beyond that. It's somebody saying, just because, I don't want you doing it. I
No,
don't
but
want
these
you
are
out there.
recreation and transportation avenues.
Yeah.
Yeah, again,
To
remember,
get around.
Well, think about it this way too. Down here in South Jersey, this forest has so much history, from the iron bogs
Oh,
and all that.
absolutely.
When we were out yesterday, we came up to two bridges that were there from who knows how long ago that the kids enjoy seeing. This is history lessons for these kids and whatnot. Okay, so not only that, to touch on what you're saying, is these are unimproved roadways. Okay, and they are dirt. So let's just close 500 miles and make everybody drive on these 10 roads and see that it's not going to erode even worse.
I was going to say that's going to be worse because there's going to be more traffic on those. Yeah.
And and I get it. I mean, there are people that go out there and deliberately mess shit up. We know that.
Yeah.
But closing roads to all the people that are using it the right way, that's not going to stop the people tearing things up. They're just going to keep doing it anyway. So
yeah,
they have to. What they really need to do is enforcement. And when I say that, I mean literally Go after the people that are doing wrong. Don't blanket this for everybody. They have cameras out there. They know who's doing wrong. They just would rather close this whole place down because of one particular man. I'm just not going to say his name right now because I'm not going to do that. But there's one man that is making all this happen, and that one man knows that they're bad apples. There's not very many.
Yeah.
And they want to close down to so many user groups, all because of this one particular bad apple group. Well, people litter every day. You're going to stop people from driving down the road. You're going to stop them from buying food at the local stores because they're going to throw trash out the window. I mean, come on, get
Right.
off your high horse.
Yep.
And I know I'm rambling, but one last thing is we offered them, especially us as a nonprofit, and Open Trails New Jersey has done it as well. We've offered them stewardship. Like
Yeah,
they can get
yeah.
federal grant money for us volunteering for them. And
Yeah.
they turn
Yep.
us away. They have turned us away and threatened us with cease and desist orders.
Yeah, that's kind of wild because I remember hearing about, like how we've done trail cleanups at our
So
our
this is,
park.
so this is the other thing. This isn't the first time that I'm hearing about this type of situation, that there's a group or a collection of people that share similar interests and they want to give back to the community. They want to volunteer. They want to do things, and they get stonewalled by government organizations and properties. Down in Delaware specifically, there was an event that was trying to be put on as a cleanup event.
Yep.
Mhm.
And
I remember hearing about that.
they got stonewalled.
Yep.
They weren't. They said if they picked up trash, they were gonna get a fine.
And I heard that story from both Steve and Dave about situations
Other stuff,
down there.
like it's ridiculous. So this isn't just New Jersey. This isn't just out in Moab. There's a lot of states that this is happening in. That there are groups that want to give back. There are 501c3s. There's Jeep groups. There's outdoor groups. There's people that hike that want to give back, and they're just getting stonewalled because it's like, oh no, you can't be out there because it was destroyed at one time. Well, we want to go help make it clean. We want to clean it up.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Well,
a liability.
no, it's a
Hang on.
liability to be out there.
I'm going to happen to take this drive, and I happen to have a bag, and I happen to be picking some trash up I saw.
Oh yeah.
That sounds so
That's a
nefarious.
big rule of thumb that we have. If we're out on the trail or on the roads, we all have trash bags with us.
So
I can't
that's
tell
how
you
we
many
all do
times
it.
We've stopped and cleaned things up.
Yeah.
It's just the right thing to do.
Absolutely.
Yeah. There's not one time that we go out
No.
that we don't pick something up.
And not only that, we go even deeper, at least with our relationship with our home park.
Right.
If you spot something, a lot of times we would mark it and report that back. Oh, hey, I can't pick up a pile of tires, but just in case it wasn't on your map, next time we do an
Right.
organized thing,
Yep.
then we go out with the gator and pick
Pick
this
'em out.
stuff up.
Yeah.
But this is the thing: is that area is no different than what we've experienced.
Well, it's different mentalities, and
Yes.
unfortunately, that's the problem that we're facing in New Jersey with selective individuals that have high-ranking power and sit in points of authority that think they know better when they've never even
They've
been
never
on-
touched it.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Exactly.
What can we do? I mean, is like.
What Steve's doing, he's educating. Like that's
Yeah.
the only thing we can do.
But then we go to this and we prove and show it, and then
Well, there is something else, a little more that you can do, and it's time to do that. And unfortunately, it's come to being a little bit more aggressive with the actions that you take. Like I said, I can give you the number again for the governor's office here in New Jersey. Anyway, I can't speak for the other states that these problems are happening. But like I said, 609-292-6000. That gets you to the governor's office, right? Then you can send them emails directly to a direct live person, not just a bot taking your emails.
Yep.
And that's constituent.relations@newjersey.gov.
Yep.
And then what you can do is after you let them know very strongly, again, that we're upset that they lied to everybody. We're planning on maybe even knocking on the door of Trenton one day and saying, hey, you can't do this. And I think that once something like that happens, then the people who are blocking our voices and are pretending that we're not saying the things that we're saying, that our towns aren't passing these resolutions and all that stuff, I feel like at that point, maybe we'll have their attention. In 2015, same thing happened. The Hamilton High School was, was gracious enough to let them use the gym, and the DEP ended up having to retract all of their new maps that they did back then. And believe me, we're not going to stop until they retract them again. Now it's not going to happen.
Good.
But again, we're not going in there trying to be a bunch of asses either. We want stewardship.
Right, yeah.
We want to help them
Right.
keep these places.
This is a
beautiful for
productive
everybody.
argument.
Right.
Exactly. All right, guys, let's get to work and get our hands dirty and do what's right. And that's the bottom line of this. I mean, our kids are not on electronics when they're out there, and they
Right.
love it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, they're learning things that a lot of people don't get the opportunity to even see when they're out there.
Yeah.
And I know that
yeah.
guys like yourselves, you spend a lot of time in woods and on mountains and stuff. You see some things that some people may never see in their life out there, and they're taking that away from us. All user groups,
Yep.
photographers, you name it.
Yeah, it's-
Even the astrological club are getting
Yeah.
screwed because they can't get to their deepest and darkest places to see the sky. I mean, they don't care. They just blanket F to everybody.
Yeah.
That was one of the more unique situations I learned about. It was like, you think about all these different use groups that Steve's been pointing out. And when I was down there, it's like, well, you realize that the folks that,
There's education.
well, there's folks that go out with their telescopes. It's like, you're talking about light pollution. Well, this is an area that is way far away from
Everything.
everything. So it is one of those rare spots you can really actually very accessible. Philadelphia is only about an hour and 15 minutes.
Yep. But it's far and
Atlantic City is only an
yeah.
hour.
Yeah.
Like I got a place down south of the forest, and that's, where I started kind of paying attention to things like, oh wow, it's really kind of a really cool spot where it's away from everything but not far from everything.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what else?
And
you
that's
gotta
what makes
take
it
into
such a
consideration?
special spot.
No, and I agree, Jason. You're 100% right, and it's a beautiful spot. Our hunters, they're getting the shaft too. They were told one thing, and now a totally different thing's happening. And there's supposed to be these dotted lines on the map during hunting season. If you have a hunting license, you go back. Well, what about the guys that want to check out their area all season long to see how deer are moving through the area and what they're doing?
Right.
And baiting their piles, and they're making these guys have to drag their deers out mile sometimes for parking because they're not allowed access in. And it's not just the off-road community. Everybody is screwed, and
Yeah.
it's just, there are people that have been hunting there since they were little kids, for 40 years, that are losing their spots and stuff. Fishing, you name it. I mean, Wharton State Forest is one of the most beautiful places in New Jersey. Period. Amen.
Yeah.
And that goes for every other place just like it. I think that's really the parable out of the whole
Yeah,
story
you
here
gotta
tonight.
push that.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think there are some things that we can do in our everyday lives when we go off-roading. We set a good example and make sure that, if somebody rolls up on us and they're dumping out trash or we need to communicate to them. That's not the way, and then pick up after them if we need to. But we need to set that example so that, wherever we are, somebody doesn't go, hey, we need to shut that area down. So, I mean, it can all snowball. They can see success of shutting one area down. All right, that worked, so we're going to do this. I honestly don't see, because the economic impact alone of people coming to visit the area, there's not a lot there, commerce-wise, and, but
There's a lot of small towns around that
yeah,
area.
that have
We
restaurants,
went to
that
a
have gas
particular
stations,
restaurant.
right?
Yeah, it's very, very well known in that area, and it's like, these are places that thrive on the through traffic to
Yeah,
this location.
you get rid of that, and then things get worse. They don't get better, right?
Think about how congested the roads they're keeping open are going to be too.
Yeah,
On a beautiful summer day, you're going to have traffic coming both ways down these roads. Nobody can release the congestion by going off these roads because of what they've closed. They're creating a perfect storm for all kinds of different problems.
yeah.
Sadly, it's like you don't almost know until you know, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
But again, this is like we've talked about other areas. The example, what did you say, Billy, in Maryland, was it?
Yeah.
Delaware, I mean. This is just, one example of a lot of other things that we've raised or heard about.
Yeah, so I'll put the phone number and the email address in the show notes, so to make sure that our listeners go ahead and do that. I don't care if you don't live in New Jersey.
It's a call to action.
Mm-hmm.
It affects everybody.
So
Yeah.
that's the thing. Like, we're calling to action, but as an off-roader, I'm calling the photographer. I'm calling the hiker. I'm calling the kayaker.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not
We're
just
calling the
us.
wall, the fishermen. Yeah, it's not just us, guys. Look, it doesn't matter. And you know what? Your political denomination means nothing. I don't care if you're a Democrat, you're a Republican, you're an independent, nothing. We are all one community pushing back against the overreach of what's happening right here.
Well, and I think the overreach is independent of political party as well. I've seen the overreach under multiple administrations.
Yeah,
and
this is just one guy saying, hey, it's going to be easier to close everything than police it and do the right thing and make it, a place that is safe for everyone. And like Steve said, maybe there are some things that need to be closed down. Maybe there are some trails or they are trails. They're not the roads. They are, they have been kind of accessed in a improper manner, and they shouldn't be, and let's let them grow back. But there is a greater portion of this that needs to be just handled differently.
Not
100%.
not just leaving 1/8 of the
Right.
of the
And maybe the
trails.
state should, you said fire cuts. Maybe the state should get back out there and maintenance the fire cuts like they should, and do what they need to do in this area instead of just.
Well, also think about the long-term ramifications. Fire, like we as travelers inadvertently keep those fire, not necessarily fire cuts, but the roads open if there's a forest fire.
Oh, and it creates breaks.
And there's
Yeah,
serious fires that go
It
on.
doesn't help. And not for nothing, the state of New Jersey is using Wharton as their model for all the rest of the state parks. And it's going to bleed everywhere, state forests rather, and it's going to bleed, everywhere. So, everybody and anybody should be reaching out, not necessarily for just New Jersey. If you have this going on in your state, reach out to your local legislatures, let them know your frustration, tell them you're not going to do it. These are the people's roads. We are the stakeholders of these roads. Don't let them push us around, and we're not going to do that either.
Yeah.
We have a great team, and the community is just not going to let it happen.
No, it's awesome, and keep up the good work. Keep the faith. You've got us, behind you. I know. Real quick, one more time of that phone number and email address.
Oh, you got it. So the phone number is 609-292-6000, and that's going to get you to the governor's office. And then the email is constituent.relations@newjersey.gov.
Nice.
I'm sure they'd love to hear from you.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Now, where can people find the Pine Barren Venom Jeep Club?
You can find Pine Barren Venom Jeep Club on Facebook or at pbvjc.com. But more importantly than our Jeep Club is Open Trails New Jersey. Okay, opentrailsnj.org.
Yep.
They are spearheading our fight and our pushback, and they're really the guys that are the glue that's holding everything together, and they have been since 2015.
Our
They
hats
stand
off
for
to them.
everybody. They're
Yep.
Open Trails New Jersey. They're for everybody and anybody. And if anything at all, you guys want to get yourselves involved with them, look at their newsletters, look at their posts and email. Matter of fact, right now on their Facebook page, they have fact and fiction videos going on where you can literally see the lies for yourself. You don't have to take my word for it. Just go ahead and look at these videos.
Perfect. So hit that up. Find you guys out there. Now you got an event coming up this Saturday, right?
Yes, we have our toy drive with the New Jersey State Park Police.
Ironic,
And
isn't
the
it?
thing is, we love them. We love
Dum-dum.
those guys. And
Well, it's not. They're
yeah,
not
you know,
closing them.
like you know, we don't mind supporting them. They have to do their job. So
Yeah.
you know,
They're not
but we
making the
support them.
decisions.
You know,
Yeah.
they're great people. They're just unfortunately they're stuck in a bad spot right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, absolutely.
But we love those guys.
Yeah.
And that's in Hamilton, right?
Yeah, well, that is going to be at the Mullica Township Recreation Rec Fields. We're going to have a hot dog vendor out there, Matty G's Dogs. We've got the fire department, Burlington County Canine Search and Rescue. The NJSPP is going to be out there. It's a very good cause. It's a toy drive, and that goes to a church that goes and distributes throughout the neighborhoods to people that may not necessarily be approved for other toy drives.
Mm.
So, yeah, come out and enjoy the morning. It's from 10 to 1, and help us fill our trailer up, and let's make a difference together.
Sweet.
Nice. I love that. Hear that, Eric? Hot dogs.
Hot
So-
dogs. You had me at hot dogs.
I know, right?
We have some hot dog enthusiasts that listen.
The
to
hot
our
dog
podcast.
enthusiast of Eastern Pennsylvania.
Well, Steve, thanks for your time, man. It was always good to see you on screen, but it was
Each-
great to meet you in person last week. We appreciate you coming out.
Absolutely, and I agree. Again, I appreciate you guys having me on. You know, let me ramble my nonsense, but I appreciate it. Let's band together and let's push back.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that, and I can echo that sentiment for sure. Hang on while we say goodbye to everybody.
Yep.
You've already found us, but where do we live?
We live at info@jeeplifepodcast.com is our email,
Yeah.
and also you can find us on any search engine by just searching Jeep Life Podcast. We have Instagram,
Yeah,
Facebook,
we're right there.
YouTube, Patreon, everything.
Oh yeah, Patreon. If you like what you hear, give us a little love.
Heck yeah.
It ain't for free. It is for you. We try to give it to you for free.
Mhm.
But you know, we need a little help. You know, subscriptions ain't cheap. All the equipment we use ain't cheap. But you know, we're not
new
Our
studio-
travels-
new
our travels to
studio
events.
new,
ain't cheap.
new studios ain't cheap. All that. You know, we love the activity of jeeping, and whether that's, you know, in the Pine Barrens, which you and I've done before. We probably were on some of those roads that weren't.
I think
Yeah.
we identify with this isn't the right place
this
to
isn't
be.
the right place to be. Yeah.
We've made a left turn in Albuquerque.
But you know, we love to do this activity, and we just want to make sure it's there for everybody to enjoy. And you know, I have a 17-year-old daughter that I want, when she's my age, to be able to do what we love to do, and
Heck yeah.
I want it to be around for her. Right. So, guard yourselves, guard our property, guard our outdoor activity, be good stewards of the world. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Next week we have a special guest or two in the studio, and that'll probably be our last show of the year. And so it should be good.
Yeah. Maybe one more.
Maybe one more. Who knows? We never know. From
Just one more, then I gotta go.
right. For Breaking Billy, Jetty Jason, I'm Jeep and Terry, and here's a big Jeep wave to everybody. Awesome.
Cool.
Thanks everybody that tuned in, and I know that we've got some Steve fans on here, that groupies that follow you around no matter what. If you like what you hear tonight, stay on and listen to us on a regular basis. You can subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. And Steve, thanks. Your Jeep doing all right?
My Jeep is doing wonderful now. Thank you for asking. Finally, after all this time.
Yeah.
Lucky.
You know, the guys at Globex tightened me up real nice. Man, I just got a re-gear, and I went with 488s and the Eaton True Track LSDs, and I'm very happy
you'll
with the
you'll
way
love
that was.
those. I had the Eaton in
Yeah.
the back end of my JK for a while, and
Yeah.
that thing freaking bulletproof, and you have so much fun with it.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right, well, thanks for hanging out with us, Steve. We appreciate it, and I hope to see you out there at least at one of the events or something.
Yes, sir.
All right,
Have a good night.
have a good one.
Take care.